8th Standard Science, Part 1, Chapter 9 Friction, Question Answer. As per 2025-2026 Karnataka State Board Syllabus, exercises, fill in the blanks. A. Friction opposes the motion between the surfaces in contact with each other. B. Friction depends on the roughness of surfaces. C. Friction produces heat. D. The sprinkling of powder on a carom board reduces friction. E. Sliding friction is less than static friction. Question number 2. Your four children were asked to arrange forces due to rolling, static, and sliding frictions in a decreasing order. Their arrangement are given below. Choose the correct arrangement. A is rolling, static, sliding. B, rolling, sliding, static. C, static, sliding, rolling. D, sliding, static, rolling. The correct decreasing order of frictional force is static, static don't have any friction, then sliding, then rolling. So the correct option is option C, static, sliding, rolling. Question number 3. Alida runs her toy car on dry marble floor, wet marble floor, newspaper and towel spread on the floor. The force of friction acting on the car on different surfaces in increasing order will be A. Wet marble floor, dry marble floor, newspaper and towel. The smoothest to roughest, wet marble floor very smooth and least friction, dry marble floor slightly more friction, newspaper rougher than marble, towel roughest highest friction. The correct increasing order is wet marble, dry marble, newspaper, towel. Answer is A. Question number 4. Suppose your writing desk is tilted a little. The book kept on it starts sliding down through the direction of frictional force acting on it. When the desk is slightly tilted, the book slides down the slope due to gravity. Friction always acts in the direction opposite to motion or attempted motion. Since the book is sliding downward, frictional force acts upward along the surface of the desk. Answer: the frictional force acts up the slope opposite to the direction of the book's motion. Question number 5. You spill a bucket of soapy water on a marble floor accidentally. Would it make it easier or more difficult for you to walk on the floor? Why? It would make it more difficult to walk on floor. Why? When soapy water spreads on a marble floor, it creates a very smooth and slippery layer. This reduces friction between your feet and the floor, makes it hard for your feet to grip the surface, increases your chances of slipping and falling. Conclusion: walking becomes difficult because the friction decreases when the floor is covered with soapy water. Sixth question. Explain why sportsmen use shoes with spikes. Sportsmen wear shoes with spikes to get better grip and more friction with the ground. Why spikes help? Spikes dig into the surface like a grass or a track. These increases friction between the shoes and the ground. With more friction, athletes can run faster without slipping, take a quick turns, start and stop suddenly, maintain better balance. Short spikes increase friction, which helps the sportsman run and move softly, safely and efficiently without slipping. Question number 7. Iqbal has to push a lighter box and Seema has to push a similar heavier box on the same floor. Who will have to apply a larger force and why? Seema will have to apply a larger force. Reason: friction depends on how hard an object presses against the surface. This is called the normal force, which increases with weight. The heavier box presses the floor with more force. This creates more friction between the box and the ground. To move it, more force must be applied. Since Seema is pushing the heavier box, she needs to apply more force than Iqbal, who is pushing the lighter one. Question number 8. Explain why sliding friction is less than the static friction. Key idea: static friction acts when an object is at its rest and you try to move it. Sliding friction acts when the object is already moving. Why static friction is greater? More interlocking of forces. When two surfaces are at rest, the tiny bumps and irregularities on them fit into each other more strongly. This requires more force to break and start movement. Less time for interlocking during motion. Once the object starts sliding, those bumps don't get enough time to lock together again, so opposing force, sliding friction is smaller. Conclusion: it takes more force to start moving an object, static friction, than to keep it moving, sliding friction. Hence, the sliding friction is less than the static friction. Question number 9. Give examples to show that friction is both a friend and a foe. Friction as a friend. Useful. Walking. We can walk only because friction between our feet and the ground prevents us slipping. Writing. Pencil or pen works because of friction between the tip and the paper. Braking vehicles. Friction between the brake pads and the wheels helps cars and bikes stop. Lighting a matchstick. Rubbing the match against the surface creates a friction that lights it. Frictions as a foil. Harmful. One is wear and tear. Friction wears off the soles of shoes, tires of vehicles, and machine parts. Two, heating of machines. Friction produces heat in machines, causing energy loss and damage. Four, reduced efficiency. Extra fuel is needed in vehicles to overcome friction between moving parts. Three, causes damage. Too much friction can damage surfaces or skin like burns when sliding on the floor. Conclusion: friction is a friend when it helps us in daily tasks, and a foe when it causes damage, energy loss, or wear and tear. Question number 10. Explain why objects moving in fluids must have special shapes. Objects moving in fluids, liquids or gases, must have special shapes to reduce resistance from the fluid called drag. Reason. Reason: when an object moves through a fluid, the fluid pushes back against the motion. This opposing force slows it down and makes it harder to move. A special shape helps the fluid flow smoothly around the object, reducing this resistance. How special shapes help? Streamlined front, narrow and pointed to cut through the fluid. Smooth middle allows the fluid to flow without turbulence. Tapered back reduces weight and drag behind the object. Examples: fish and dolphins swim easily in water. Birds and airplanes fly efficiently through air. Boats and submarines glide smoothly in water. Conclusion: objects and fluids have special streamlined shapes to reduce drag, making motion faster, easier, and energy efficient. Please like, share, subscribe, and comment and save the playlist. Thank you very much. Bye bye.